guys, I'm Virginia.
I'm Silviu.
And we are members of SVI. I started this journey probably about a little over a year and a half ago. And I think Silviu is a bit more of a veteran than I am.
Well, we kind of started in the educational phase at the same time.
Yes.
Because I had been doing it prior to that. I've done it abroad, but different countries is different type of construction, different tools you use and stuff. So it's not the same thing. I had done it prior to starting with a formal education, but there was a point where I figured, okay, I've made some money, I've lost some money. If I want to keep making money on this, I need to get a formal education, and that's where Virginia and I met. Actually, we enrolled in Fortune Builders together, and we started from there.
I would say over the year and a half, I guess it's been like a year and 8 months at this point, but people always ask, so, hey, why did you even start doing this? How did you get into this? Especially when people see me out in the field, they're like, how did you even start doing this? And so I can actually say I saw some kind of advertisement on Facebook. So there you go, marketing does work.
Yeah.
I saw an advertisement on Facebook, and it was about education. And so I went to a seminar, and I had gone to seminars before, but when I went to this one, it just seemed a bit more authentic. And so I won't belabor the time into all of the, what the seminar specifically entailed, but it was about real estate. So at that time, myself, my older sister, my sisters and I, we were kind of figuring out, okay, hey, what can we do to help my mom retire? Because so my strongest why for even getting into this and doing something completely radical like this, because this just isn't my natural bent, is my mom, and it's to help with her retirement. And so went and got the formal education, which is where I met you, and then it's been a journey ever since. I mean, okay. We can definitely talk about the ups and downs and stuff. But
definitely a roller coaster.
Definitely. So you said you had done it before. So what was your why for doing it here?
I used to work in the fish and seafood industry as a trader, and I traveled a lot and spent, maybe not continually, but about 6 months of a year out of my house, away from my family. And when we moved to the US about 4 years ago, I stopped that business, and we kind of had to reinvent ourselves as a family. We came here with a business proposal, which the idea was that my wife would take care of that, and I would start with a real estate investing business, because I already knew how or what I was doing. I've been doing business all my life, so obviously I know how to check on the numbers, if things can work. It's not that simple, but I have a notion, or more of a notion, that somebody that has never done business by themselves. So the original business we came here with didn't work out. When Harvey came, we lost all our merchandise. The business was already not very firm, and with all our inventory lost, hey, I need to start really hard on this. So basically my why is because I needed to do something, and I already had been doing some projects and some deals that were kind of a side gig to what was supposed to be our main line of work. But well, when that closed down, I started. It's something that is very attractive to me, in the sense that it allows me the freedom to manage my time and do the things I want with my family. I personally don't want a yacht on a plane. I'm happy with sharing the time with my kids and going camping with them and riding my bike. And if I can manage my time so that I can do the work that's needed, that work gets in the way of what you really want to do, while at the same time enjoying what you're doing, because I really enjoy the fact that I do business with people and that I can transform whenever we do a rehab or something. It's nice to actually take a house like the one I showed you in the video today,
Yes.
with a hole in the living room where there's water coming in, and then transform it to something that's nice, where a new family will come in and say, wow,
Yeah.
this is a great job.
Yeah.
This is very rewarding. And well, it's been growing little by little after we got all the let's say learning and experience from fortune builders. Then we had to implement, because there was like something lacking. There's a lot of information now. How do I put it on practice, implementation? And actually, well, Virginia is the one that brought me to SVI, and she said, well, I met this guy.
Forget about it.
Yeah, well, I don't. So it's her fault.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So hey, I met these guys. They focus on implementation, and if you become a member, you become part of the network. You have a network of contractors or architects, of designers, realtors that can work with you, and you have several advantages, because being part of the network, you'll have discounts, and obviously they'll be more willing to work with you. And definitely, not only the extra learning I got from SVI and the support after the course was great, but the fact for me that I actually now had a network that was kind of pre-built for me, I just bought the package, has been something that has helped immensely in what I look for in the business. That's okay, I wanna build a business, I wanna gain traction, I obviously I'm here to make money, but I don't wanna spend 24 hours a day working on the job. I wanna spend time with my family, I wanna spend time with me, and the network has allowed me to manage my time so that I can do both things and not grow the business at the same time.
Absolutely. I would say me coming in, because I didn't have like the business background that you talked about, me just coming in completely green. Definitely got the education from Fortune Builders, but the implementation, and with somebody I would say completely green, it's the confidence to actually execute, because you're just not accustomed to running your own ship. To be honest with you, I wasn't.
And sometimes it's kind of like, hey, throw the dice. Are we going to jump in this business or not? Because if you analyze too much.
True. I mean, there is analysis paralysis, but then there's just people who just jump in, head first, and they literally go head first because they went in with, no preparation at all. And so, but one of the things that I definitely am grateful to SVI for was because even when I got my first property under contract, and I will always talk about this because I thought it was actually amazing. I utilized every service that SVI offers on that first contract.
All right.
I had the architects in there. So Chris, we just saw him in the other room. I met Chris, he came out, had Junit was the realtor on it, and then Maria came out, she's the design and selections, and then the contractor that, actually I had several contractors from here come out there. And they would give me around the same number on the bid, so I was like, okay. And that was like in the 6 figures, so I was like, I don't think I need to do that for my first rehab. And so, but I utilized everybody, and everybody was so patient, and I was learning along the way. Like, that's when I actually learned what a purlin was.
Okay.
It goes up in the attic, and like I never even thought something as simple as a purlin. But so yeah, then the inspector Eric Christie came out, and so that was phenomenal. And I mean, that gave me, I didn't end up closing on the property, which I think was good, because that property is actually on the market right now and they can't get a buyer. They did a horrible rehab on it. But anyways, I knew better. So didn't close on that. But
that's part of the education we got, and that's part of the,
to know when to walk away.
Yeah, and that's part of the, not only to know when to walk away, but the fact that you walked away is because you had information that you gathered through the knowledge you've acquired, and mostly in SVI or through the education you've gotten. So that's what you were saying, that hey, there's new investors that might jump in heads in, and they crash.
Yeah, they try to think about
horrendously.
everything afterwards.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
The fact that we have the knowledge allows us to analyze the deals better, and even if we are analyzing like we know we do, we might analyze 100, 150 deals until we actually find one that they accept our offer on also, that works for us, but that makes the risk a lot less.
yes, yeah, because you're actually putting the time and you're actually calculating the risk. You're not just saying, because some people are like, oh, if you want to do something, just jump in and do it. I get that. I get the fact that you need to take action, but it needs to be positive action.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, don't just go shoot yourself in the foot saying, hey, I got a round off.
Yeah.
It was in your foot. Like
you're not going to war without any prior training, so kind of the
Exactly.
same thing.
Exactly. And so, but yeah, so I mean, utilizing the team. So from that point, it definitely gave me confidence to, and even with further education to like make the call, actually talk to realtors and stuff like that, because I saw like the process. I saw what people were doing from the inspector side, from the realtor side, and all of that. So that was definitely helpful for me.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay. And so, but going along, when we talk about like things that kind of hindered us or like hurdles that were in the way and stuff like that. So since you actually came from a background of business, a business mindset, and then coming into this, and you had done real estate abroad, and so now you're just doing it here in the States, what would you say some of the hurdles have been that you've...
For me personally, the biggest hurdle has been feeling like a local. Let me explain what I mean with this. Is that I came to Houston 4 years ago and I didn't know anybody. So whenever you're a local, you know
I find that hard
people,
to believe. I feel like you know
it's
so many people now.
Yeah, well, that's the way it is, but you don't know anybody, and when you're local, hey, I need a lawyer for something. Oh, my sister's whatever friend is a lawyer or something like that, or you went to school with somebody that's a lawyer, or you need I don't know, some specialist in some area, and through acquaintances that you've made through living here, through in school and at the club or whatever, you have kind of an idea or where to knock a door. I was clueless, so that was, I think, my biggest hurdle. My second biggest hurdle, and these are probably issues that are specific to my situation here. My second biggest hurdle was, hey, I came here because I wanted to have a better life for my family, and that includes being with them. When the kids come from school, being there, or on weekends being there, not working like I used to do before. So managing the time to be able to dedicate to my family and dedicate to the business so it's profitable has been a hurdle. I'm not very good at managing my time, not at all. What they teach us about blocking.
Yes,
I don't even look at a calendar. I can't. You gotta check what you need or not. But that's mostly been my biggest hurdle, except for things that are normal in the business. Like, hey, you don't find deals every day. Like we were saying, you go through 100, 200 deals, and maybe you find one and you put a lot of offers in, but it's not like they are. When you're $20,000-$30,000 apart of asking, you put the offer in anyway, but there's too many people out there buying that don't have the knowledge, that maybe have other exit strategies different like yours, or maybe have more knowledge than you and they're doing something that we don't know of, but there's a lot of buyers, and so it's not easy. But I think that the more we've been at it, the more traction we're gaining.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that I would say is, another hurdle is impatience. I've learned that you have to be patient. Things take their time for them to gain traction and to start. The first year, maybe fewer deals came in than now, and now, like, if you do the process where you market and you do everything that they teach you, you start getting deals in the pipeline, in the sense that maybe a deal that you were negotiating 3 months ago is finally closing.
Yes.
But if you're doing that and you've been doing it for a year or 2 years, then it comes a time when every month you're closing on a deal, because now today I'm closing on a deal that I was negotiating 4 months ago, and next month I might be closing on a deal that I was negotiating 6 months ago or 1 month ago, and then and suddenly you're doing 10, 20 deals a year, depending obviously on how much time you put in it. It takes money to market.
Yes.
Maybe not to do the rehabs per se. You can use other people's money, but you need to put money in marketing. Without marketing, it's very difficult to get deals, and that's something that's kind of a grayish area
That's true.
in the educational world, because you can do this business without any money. Okay, like any business, if you're gonna start a sandwich shop, you need to pay for the shop, for the for lettuce, for the bread and stuff,
and materials.
So you actually need to put some money in to start the business.
Yes.
Here's the same thing. You put some money in to education, which is kind of like, okay, putting some money in building the network, or having access to a prefab network.
Pre-established.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But then, hey, I need to market, and that's what we've realized, and that's why we've tried to focus on starting a wholesale company in order to find those deals that are more difficult to find.
Yes, definitely just going directly to the seller.
Yeah.
Because of what we're seeing out in the market. And so I would say for me, one of the hurdles definitely is the marketing, and then of course the deals. But something I found, you mentioned it about deals being in your pipeline. Typically when I don't get a deal, I'll kind of follow it, and I can say this year I think I've come across maybe 3 deals that were actually locked up, and then maybe 8 months later it fell out, and then I was like, if I had been that following up, I would have got it, and it would have been great.
But then also it takes
time. Like
it takes manpower.
Yes.
You cannot do this by yourself.
Right.
I think either find a partner like we've done, or get some employees.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it by yourself, it can be done. It definitely can be done. But it's either a lot of work where you won't literally have time for anything, but most certainly you will miss a lot of opportunities. So kind of like, hey, the VA that everybody talks about for doing some petty stuff, get it. And I'd go further, like, you need an employee, get it. So things like that, an assistant. But obviously you do it. Do you have the money to put in? No, then you have to be patient and grow at a slower pace. If you have a bunch of money to put in marketing and an office and some employees and put systems in place where you can an acquisitions team, you can grow a business much faster.
Absolutely. I think it's interesting when I see people, and it's so dynamic to me, the way that, because some people will swear by VAs, and then some people, like, we've had our
we haven't got good
right, we've not had
expectations.
good experience. The expectations were good.
The expectations were huge, but no good experiences.
Well, then I think we got to the point where the expectations were like, we're just going to put it on the table. It's going to be just low enough, but it seems like that didn't come around. And I think it's so interesting though, because I've met people that they pretty much run their entire business just using VAs. And I'm like, how do you do this? So I guess one of the hurdles is finding that perfect fit.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. It's a perfect fit, because for what works for one person may not work for the
Yeah,
other
exactly.
unless it's tweaked just a little bit.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
that's definitely some of the challenges
With the
in
VAs, I
this
do
industry.
think that you need to be more in control or what they are doing, in the sense that
Yes.
you have to pay more attention because they're not
Really have to be an
there.
employer.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, you have to be on
kinda-
top of them, like
Yeah.
almost on a daily basis, not just reports and stuff. That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Mhm.
If
They
you
get
have
it.
an actual employee, well, they'll do the work because, hey, when they see your face, but the VA doesn't even know how you look sometimes. So,
Very true, very true. And, but yeah, so with all of that, and so I mean, going back to the education, something that you mentioned earlier, or we just mentioned about like the risk in this business, because a lot of people are like, we're actually buying houses, like So you think about the risk, and I'm definitely comforted by the risk that I'm taking because of the education and the implementation of that education. So it's like, okay, everything comes with, most things come with risk, okay? And so it's like, how risk averse are you? So as long as you have your tolerance set, and then you have to wade in that water. And sometimes you might need to be pushed a little bit.
For
but-
me, I don't see it as a risk. I get it, what you're saying. Yes, one of the reasons I probably don't see it as a risk is because I have the knowledge to analyze a deal. But even with the knowledge, we sometimes make mistakes.
Yeah.
I just made a mistake with a property I bought, that when I walked it was full of furniture, people in there, and kind of I was not very comfortable in order to do a proper assessment of the situation and a repair estimate the way it should have done. And I signed on the property, and when it was vacated, it turns out that there were a lot of hidden stuff, rotten walls behind the furniture, and the house had way more. Needed way more repairs than I had budgeted, and it was not really a deal, but I turned around and wholesaled it. Somebody will buy it. We've already learned there's somebody that wants to buy it, and I got my money back. So I didn't lose money, I didn't make money, but the risk is not quite there because you have a tangible property, a tangible asset. It's not like bonds or stocks or something like that. That's something, it's numbers on a computer where, hey, suddenly there's a bombing over in Saudi Arabia and things go the wrong way. Here, hey, if the house catches fire, you have to have insurance.
Yes.
It's part of the education. But if the house catches fire, hey, this house, I wish it would have caught fire.
You would have came out on top.
Oh yeah, I would have made a ton of money. It was insured for about $40,000 more than what it cost me, because it was insured for the ARV and not not my purchase price. So, but it didn't catch fire, and I already sold it.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. So no, I can see the risk that you're talking about, just the risk in investing in real estate in general. But I don't want to say but, there's like two types of risk. The actual risk of going into a deal and everything, I guess, going according to plan, or you don't know what's behind those walls, and that's why I say the education helps, because like you were saying, you can circumvent that because you have the education. And then there's sometimes things will pop up that you can't catch it. You just, it is what it is. That's what the contingencies are for when we use them. And so,
You'll definitely learn from the mistakes. So.
Absolutely. And so,
so when you go and see a stuffy house full of people and dogs barking at you and stuff, nah.
No, I'll calculate that one as if I'm taking it down to the studs.
Yeah.
We're like full it, replacing everything.
Exactly.
Do the numbers work? Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go forward.
There you go.
Let's go. So, I guess just wrapping all of this up, with our experience in our education and with SVI, I mean, I could definitely say I am enjoying this journey. I never had the idea to actually work for myself. And when I got the taste of it, and then going back to corporate America, it's like, ooh, that's a hard one, because it's like, I love the time freedom. I mean, I don't have a family, but I still like my time. So
Definitely.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so
You use your time for whatever you want.
Exactly. And so I'm definitely appreciative of the network that I've gathered along the way, not only just with Fortune Builders, because that's what actually brought me to SBI, having that network. So definitely appreciative of that. And then just running into people that have just a different backgrounds just to learn, and so from one another, because I mean, you've had experiences with things, and I've asked you something as simple as a French drain, you know, because that's something you had an experience with on your property, and that's the type of information that, you know, we can share. So thank you guys for watching Investor World. Silviu and I just shared some of our experiences. I hope it helped you in some kind of way, and happy investing.
There you go.